Hello, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I've covered up the name, actually. If you look that way, if you look up in the corner, I've covered up what the name of the organization. You can most likely guess by certain uniform items. This is a veteran organization. So this team has just reported in for presenting the colors. It's the posting and then retrieving the colors competition for veterans. It's I don't know how to describe this, honestly. I'll turn that down a bit so nothing that you can see in this video conforms to any military standard. And this goes on for 2 hours. Well, let's turn this up. The stomp step. Now, I'm severely disappointed. I was a member for 15 years of this organization. Veterans need to do better. Well, I'll just put it that way. They need to do much better. I actually volunteered to be a point of contact for the organization for drill and ceremonies. Oh, no, that's okay. We already have someone. Okay, so you have someone. What are they doing? You have a point of contact. You don't stylize color guard with a stomp step. Now, whatever flags whether it has fringe or not, I'm not going to get bent out of shape about that. That's not a problem. However, eagle finial there, yeah, and notice that from at the beginning here, when the team is standing, you can see that these are these flagstaffs are just absolute garbage. I don't know why they're made so cheaply. They're the extendable staffs. You can compact them into half their size, which is nice for traveling, if you're air travel or whatever. But then again, we have staffs that break down. But I think the main reason why these gold staffs, you twist them one way and then they lock in place. You twist them the other way and they're loose. And you can adjust the height. And that's really good for first responders. Well, I'll just say law enforcement, really. Law enforcement that have, there's so much to their uniform. And the duty belt that they wear, just really, they can't take much more with the colors harness. So they usually wear something that is it's like this. Actually, it's just like this. It's the shield with it looks like a shield. It's the frame around the harness socket, which these are junk as well. They're plastic garbage, but it has two leather loops on it, adjustable leather loops, and you can hook that onto the belt. That's minimal, so that the law enforcement, they don't have to wear a colors harness because it can get in the way. I get that. And then you have major height problems with the flags and all that. So extendable poles, you can adjust the height. I get that. I understand that. There's no reason for it here. Absolutely none whatsoever. And you can see, let me see if I can get back just a little bit more here. There. When they're standing, you can see they're purposefully adjusted to be so that the American flag is taller. This right here, this is on purpose. They do this on purpose. The American flag must always be higher. It's a myth. Show me in whatever you want. Look at everything. Drill and ceremonies and protocol and the flag manuals. I got them all right here because I'm taking a trip pretty soon to go judge. I've got them all right here. And I've got tons behind me. We've got the flag code online. Show me somebody where it says the American flag must be higher. It's nowhere. It's nowhere to be found. It's a myth. Where it comes from is when the American flag is in the center, and then the flags radiate from that center. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know how many ever flags there are, but that doesn't apply to a color guard. The American flag is never carried in the center position. Never. It's always carried on the marching right. It's always carried at the same level, unless there is a big height difference or at least waist level difference. That's it. So, and so the stomp step, stomp, 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 stomp. So, why are you saluting? If you're a judge, stop saluting. I know that they're working with the American flag. So I'll show you what the whole procedure looks like. Anybody want to cup your hands? Why? So, and another thing, where's this position in any of the service drill and ceremonies manuals? Even if you want to use my manual, the Honor Guard manual, even if you want to do that, that's based on ceremonial drill, and it covers all the bases for a color guard and a whole bunch more. Where is that position? It's nowhere. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a separate commander, except for 2 occasions, and it's in the training circular, and only the Army does it. Where are these grips as well? So flags switch, but the guards don't. So we don't do this. We don't make little facing movements. We also don't bend over at the waist and look like a hobbit and then just leave it. It's fine. We don't have the gold cord and tassels. We, the American military. They're veterans, and so it's quite possible that and color guards don't do an about face either. It doesn't matter whether you have flags or not. So now you're not even in the same positions, and you're supposed to be. The lead guard is always the lead guard, right rifle guard. Trail is always trail. Always on the left. The American flag bearer is always on the right. There's no such thing as a middle commander. The the organizational bearer is always on the left, or at the to the rear of the, if they're in column formation, to the rear of the American flag bearer. And you just changed positions. What's with the hands? Not going to go over all 2 hours here. So let's go see this. So, Judge, you're not doing your job there, Lieutenant. Again, we have a commander outside the team. There's no such thing. Metal staffs. Judge, you're not supposed to salute. You're supposed to be evaluating. How can you evaluate when you're at the position of attention and saluting? How do you do that? What was that? And Lieutenant, what are you doing? Following the flag. So, did some kind of draping there, but it's draped backwards, and you're supposed to be able to fix that. Again, this is the half step stomp. This was back in 2019. So that, yeah, you called left turn, but it's the never-ending forward motion. And what's this grip here as well? What is that? Where does that come from? What manual does that come from? It doesn't come from an American manual. And from what I remember, American happens to be in the title of the organization. I'm just going to do a couple more here. This is so disappointing. Absolutely 100% disappointing. So, this team has the Glendales, but the slings are mounted wrong. Left order, and so many people tell me about. That was what was that? So many people tell me about the commandant's four at Marine Barracks, Washington. How they go to mirror order, mirror this, and mirror that. No, they don't. No, watch what they do, and there's a reason behind of what they do. Forward march means a full step, not this silly half step garbage. Now this one's kind of nice. I really appreciate the historic. Again, Judge, you just give me so much to be disappointed about. Okay, where does mark time come in before you march? Where does that happen? I can choose a manual here, read through it. When do we give mark time before we go forward? Why are the guards marching at port, and yet you're at carry? So looks like you're following Army standards by the uniform. At least you're marching and not stomping. And so you've got a little bit of ceremonial manual in there. It's not working, honestly. But I love the theme of the team. I really do. It's very, very nice, very different. And it's appropriate as well. But it goes on for 2 hours. You can see here that there's no standard. None whatsoever. One of the toughest things for all right, we've been 16 minutes. My last thought. One of the toughest things for veteran honor guards like this. Oh, no. A spin to right shoulder. Where's that? That's, and if you want to march shoulder to shoulder, whatever, I don't care about that. But the spins, the stomps, the lack of standards, the utter lack of standards, they don't exist at all. None of the teams, and I'm not going through the whole 2 hours, but none of them have any standards whatsoever, it seems. Spin to right shoulder. So my last comment. What is this? Where do you find this? You don't do exhibition drill, any kind of exhibition movements, anything outside of the manual. You just don't do it. And why don't you do it? Because the American flag's there and we have established standards. But apparently our standards don't matter. Definitely my last comment. While we see this in the background, one of the most difficult things for veterans, veteran groups to agree upon is the standard. Is it the Army standard or is it going to be the Marine Corps standard? Nobody wants to use the Air Force standard because it's just a mixture of Army and Air Force. So that's yet another reason why I wrote the Honor Guard manual. Holy cow. And that's the same thing for first responders. We have people served in every single branch in the same unit, veteran unit, first responder unit, and then they end up arguing about which standard to use, and they never read manuals, and so it's a melange of well, I think I remember, and not the actual standards. It's just I think I remember, and then this exhibition garbage. I expect this from cadets, not veterans. We need to do better. Thanks for watching.